So over the course of the last couple of days, we got a major blunder from Sega as they published the sales data for a lot of the games that they have. Well, not a lot, because they've got a pretty expansive library, but some of the most popular games of recent from them, including Persona 5, we have multiple Sonic titles, some Like a Dragon games, and more. So what we're going to do with that information is take a look at it, of course, and basically theorize what they may be cooking with the results from some of this. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know in the comments down below once we've gone through it and you see that part of the video, which was the most surprising for you. But first, we're going to go over this information in the article via Mike Straw. Sega accidentally makes sales data public for 11 major games. It appears that someone at Sega forgot how to properly redact data from a PDF, making sales data for 11 major games publicly available. In a presentation document for its annual management meeting, Sega attempted to block out years of sales data for a number of its games. Instead, however, the company simply put a gray overlay on top of the data without preventing the information from still being accessed. This information includes sales data numbers for a number of games over the last 6 fiscal years, including 3 Sonic games, 2 Like a Dragon games, and more. The key takeaway from the sales data, which you can see for yourself below, we're going to get to it in a minute, are that Persona 5 Royal continues to be a major seller for the company, selling 7.25 million copies over the last 6 years, and that there's still a demand from players for Sonic games, as games like Sonic Frontiers and Sonic Superstars have both sold well since their respective launches. As mentioned, the data comes from the last 6 fiscal years, starting with fiscal year 2020. It runs through fiscal year 2025 and includes 11 games total. The games included are Persona 5 Royal, including the remaster, Sonic Frontiers, Team Sonic Racing, Total War 3 Kingdoms, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Sonic Superstars, Total War Warhammer 3, Shin Megami Tensei 5, including Vengeance, Persona 3 Reload, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. You can see all the sales numbers for yourself in order of the total sales below. All right, so yeah, Persona 5, out of all of these games, it's running away with the field here since fiscal year 20, which is, I'd assume that's for some of these games. I don't know if all these games are available on every console. I'd assume that may matter for some of these games. Some of it also is just the amount of time that the game has been out. But even then, you know, when we look at like Frontiers, for example, it starts off in fiscal year 23, which is when it was released, and then it steadily goes down, right? 3.2 million in the release year, which is normal. That's actually a pretty good sales number just to start off with. But 760,000, 610,000 in fiscal year 25. Persona is just like a steady, cool 1 million. It dips for a couple years, then shoots close to 2 million, and it's around mid 1.5, 1.6 area for a 7.25 million total. But again, Sonic, as that's our main focus of today's video, Sonic Frontiers, 4.57 million total sales. So that's actually pretty solid. And again, these are sales. This is not revenue, right? This is how many units they sold. So the revenue is actually quite a bit higher, right? So anyway, Team Sonic Racing is interesting too. Team Sonic, it doesn't have like that 3.2 Sonic Frontiers instant jump on release. It's at 1.3 on release, and it's been out for a few years longer, right? But still, it's at 3.5. It's still got a solid 220,000 this year. That's actually pretty impressive. It's quite old. As far as I know, it's quite dead. But if people are wanting to play a kart Sonic game, and this, well, okay, Crossworlds is probably going to finish this game off for good, right? But until Crossworlds comes out, if people want to play a kart game, sure, right? Sure. It's Team Sonic Racing. You could argue whether or not like a game like Transformed is better. I'd be inclined to agree with you. But that game is quite old, right? So that's kind of the kicker there. It's just quite an old game. You need older. I don't think it's on any modern hardware, is it? Like it's on like Wii U's and stuff like that. I own a Wii U version. I think it's on PS3. I don't think it's on any, unless you're playing on PC, of course. That's different. And I can play it on my Steam Deck. That's how I play it now. But like, I don't think it's on PS4 or anything like that. Like, it's not, you know. So I think that's kind of where this is at. And kart racers have always been really, really popular. The Yakuza games kind of like, as we look at some of the Yakuza games, they kind of are low, but some of that's just because they're new releases, right? Like over the last couple of years, maybe they just need a couple more years to build the number up. Persona 3 reload, reroll, kind of similar. Shin Megami Tensei, they're doing pretty solid actually. What the hell happened in fiscal year 24? It went from 150 down to 10 up to 960. There must have been an announcement of a new release or something. I'm not really in tune. Like, I assume it's Vengeance. Maybe Vengeance came out and that is what did it. But yeah, there's something crazy happening here in a couple of years for Shin Megami. But moving on to that, or from that, Sonic Superstars. Sonic Superstars, only a couple years old, 24, 25 fiscal years, but performs quite well. Now, I wonder if these are just flat numbers sold. Obviously, I talked about how like it's not the actual revenue. The revenue would be higher because on a per unit basis, you know, it's much higher than 1-to-1, right? But I wonder like how much of that is like units that were on sale or maybe clearance, things like that on online retailers. Like, for example, Sonic Superstars. I have no problems with Superstars. I actually think it's an underrated game. But I have seen this game on sale habitually, like several times. Every time I see this game, it's on sale for like half the price. So and it's always plastered over everything like Amazon. I do wonder if kind of that, like that's what's happening here. But what that tells me is that, again, similarly to some of the other titles, just needs more time. 2.43 million. What that tells me is that there is a demand, as the article said, like, you know, with 2.43 from Superstars over the last couple fiscal years. Team Sonic Racing over its entire span, 3.5, right? And actually, was Team Sonic released prior to fiscal year 20? Actually, hold on. When was Team Sonic Racing released? It was released May 21st, 2019. I don't know if there should be another fiscal year on here, but let's just go with what it is. I was thinking it was like 2018. Right, like, so I was like, ooh, there's actually probably more to this. And that's why, like I said, that initial one is so high, right? I don't expect them to have 2 consecutive years like that or better. Anyway, 4.5 for Sonic Frontiers. There's rumors, there's always rumors, right? But rumors of another Sonic game coming out. But this does show that I think the Sonic fandom is here and they're asking for new stuff, right? I think they're asking for new stuff. And I think that they see this and know that we want new stuff, because I mean we're kind of in this interesting period right now where there's like Sonic games like every year, or at the worst every other year, right? Like we're in this interesting period. And then there's also like the multimedia, like there's Rumble coming out, of course. That's kind of like another thing, should be out by now, but whatever. The movies have been coming out. Like we're just kind of in this Sonic renaissance right now. And I would imagine some of this also is because of like crossover between things like the movie and people being interested in Sonic more and more and more as time goes on. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, and then with Crossworlds, the way I'd expect it to perform with all the crossovers they're going to have and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure they're going to just keep on working on Sonic games, because why not? I mean, it's clearly one of their top performers at this point, right? Like, and again, for the 10th time, some of these games just need more time and maybe the numbers look better or different, but it's clearly one of the top performers here. And I think that's encouraging, right? I think that's encouraging. We mostly just kind of glanced over Persona 5 Royal because like it's just so far ahead. But I wonder if some of that's just like so many different releases of Persona 5 Royal throughout there. Like, for example, what happens in fiscal 23? Is that the Nintendo Switch release? I think that's the Switch release. Like, not to take anything from it. It's amazing. In fact, I'm playing it through right now. But I think that this game has had pretty sustained success. I don't know that they would expect that from anything else. You know, the funny thing, it's like budget is the difference, but it's interesting when other games like Square Enix, for example, they've openly complained about the sales numbers for some of their recent like Final Fantasy games not doing as well as they would like. Now, again, don't hear what I'm not saying. The budget is the reason why, but their numbers look pretty comparable to this, right? So with that being the case, you'd have to wonder if expectation is a little high on their end. But again, third time, the budget is the reason why. Like, those games have insane budgets. So ultimately, let me know what you guys think about all this. What was the most surprising? For me, it's probably racing. But racing is the only Sonic game on here with that long of a history. But even though you may think racing is just completely dead, and I promise you, if I were to get on it right now, I may find a game, but it's not going to be easy. It still had a pretty consistent 200,000 unit sales. Like, it's still going over the last few years, 200, 300. So it's chilling. All right, guys, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later.